welcome to another episode of Check It Out, Carnegie-Stout Library's Adult Services Podcast. This episode, we are going to talk a little bit about our updated procedures we have here at the library. We'll share how our summer reading program is going, and we also have our August book clubs coming up. Last but not least for this episode, we will feature an interview with author Mary Potter Kenyon, who is releasing her new book called To Be Creative.
Hi all, this is a public service announcement that effective Monday, July 27th, the Carnegie-Stout Public Library will require all visitors, including children older than 2 years, to wear masks or cloth face coverings that go over the mouth and nose. The mask requirement is in addition to other measures the library is taking to ensure the safety of its guests. These include library staff wearing masks, quarantining return materials for 72 hours before recirculation, regularly cleaning and disinfecting common areas and surfaces, limiting public seating areas, and encouraging social distancing with signage and floor markings. As a reminder, the library is open Monday to Friday from 12 to 7 p.m., Saturday from 10 to 2 p.m., and Sunday from 1 to 5 p.m. For those not comfortable coming into the library, curbside service for hold items is available Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. and from 5 to 7 p.m., as well as Saturday and Sunday from 12 to 2 p.m. The mission of the Carnegie-Stout Public Library is to improve the quality of life by providing resources for individual enjoyment, enlightenment, and knowledge, and that enhance the literacy of youth. Thank you. Hi folks, have you heard? The library is open and our bookshelves are lonely. If you've been hanging on to your Carnegie-Stout books and movies that you checked out 50 years ago, remember back in March of 2020? Know that you can now release them back to the library. We promise to take good care of them. Also, many items that have been checked out for months have holds on them and we look forward to sending them to their new temporary homes. Please return all overdue items at your earliest convenience. Remember, we do not have late fees anymore, so you can come in and pick out your next favorite book or movie without worry. You can also put holds on items and pick them up with our touchless curbside service if you are not yet comfortable coming back into the building. Here are the ways that you can return items now. The library is open 7 days a week, so you can return items in person. The Bluff Street Drive-Up Drop Box. The Walk-Up Drop Box inside the library by the first floor entrance. The drive-up drop box returns in the Asbury Hy-Vee parking lot and at Eleanor Roosevelt Middle School. The drop box inside Kennedy Mall by the customer service kiosk. If the item is oversized or has a sticker that says not to place in a book drop, please arrange to come in or have someone return the item inside the library during our open hours. Thank you much.
The summer reading program at Carnegie-Stout is fast approaching the end. While this is sad to many of us, it does mean that we are drawing closer to our grand prize, a Kindle Fire. We will be drawing names for 3 Kindle Fire tablets after August 7th. August 7th will be the last day to submit your reading logs, so be sure to turn in as many as you can in the next couple of weeks. Each reading log submitted counts as an entry into the grand prize drawing, so the more you submit, the better your chances will be. Additionally, if you haven't yet picked up your bookmark from the recommendations desk, make sure you stop by to see us. We are also continuing to feature readers on our Facebook page that are involved in the summer reading program, so go ahead and reach out to Ben Eagle or myself, Becky Maher, if you are interested. Just send an email to yourlibrarian at dubuque.lib.ia.us that includes a selfie with you holding one of the books you've enjoyed this summer. There's also still time to sign up for the summer reading program if you haven't already. Just go to our website, dubuque.lib.ia.us, click Adult Services at the top of the page, and then on the left of the next page is a link that says Adult Summer Reading 2020. Imagine your story. Go ahead and click that, and it will take you to our online registration form as well as our online reading logs. You can also call the library at 563-589-4225 or stop by the recommendations desk to sign up. Just be sure to have your library card handy. Happy reading!
Hey, Angie, thanks for joining us.
Hi, Sarah.
I heard that you have some great book clubs that are meeting in August.
We do. We have the Geek Out Book Club as well as the Mystery and Mayhem Book Club.
Oh, fun. What are you going to read for Geek Out?
The Geek Out book is called All Systems Red by Martha Wells, and it's book number 1 in the Murderbot Diaries series.
And when will Geek Out be meeting to discuss?
That will be on Monday, August 10th.
Monday, August 10th. When?
6 p.m.
6 p.m. And how about for Mystery and Mayhem?
That book will be In the Woods by Tana French. That is book number 1 in the Dublin Murder Squad series that meets Wednesday, August 19th, also at 6 p.m.
Oh, fantastic. And these are going to be online book discussions, right?
Right. We're meeting through Zoom, so you will need to register ahead of time with your email. And on the day of the book club, we'll email you your registration so you can join the Zoom room.
So how would people register for that book club?
You can register on our website, www.dubuque.lib.ia.us. Register online there or call us at the library at 563-589-4225. Ask for the reference desk and we can register you online.
Well, I am super excited that you're reading Martha Wells' Murderbot Diaries. I love that series.
It's supposed to be really good. I haven't read it yet, but I do know it's really short, so that will appeal to some folk. Oh yeah, it's award-winning. All Systems Red has won a lot of awards. Very popular.
Very cool. And that Tana French, that is a TV series now, isn't it?
Yes, I heard that was also getting good reviews as well.
Very cool. Well, thanks so much for joining us, and I hope a lot of people are going to pick up these excellent books and join you for some really great discussions.
And don't forget, if you want to check out the books, come to the checkout desk on first floor at the library, and there are copies available of both books.
That's true. It does help if you read the book before the discussion.
Yes, it does, indeed.
Can patrons get it through Curbside Pickup?
Yes, absolutely. When you arrive to the library, you just call and tell them you want the book club book and specify which title. They'll check it out and bring it out with your other book.
Thank you again, Angie.
You're welcome. Thanks, Sarah.
Mary Potter Kenyon is the program coordinator at the Shalom Spirituality Center here in Dubuque. She's also the author of several books, including Coupon Crazy and Refined by Fire, A Journey of Grief and Grace. Her newest book is Called to Be Creative. Thank you for joining us on our podcast today, Mary.
Thank you so much for having me.
I would love it if you could start by telling us a little bit more about your latest book and how you came to write it.
Yes, it was a long time coming because after my mother passed away in 2010, I discovered some of her handwritten notebooks in a memory book that she had left behind, and I discovered what I call magic pencil on her in her workroom. My mother was a very creative person, and so when you grow up with somebody who is making quilts and rag rugs and beautiful wall hangings, and who at the age of 42 just picks up a chisel and decides she's going to start making wood carvings, and then ends up with a home business selling those wood carvings and her paintings on barn boards. I mean, when you grow up with somebody like that, you can't help but think it's possible for all of us to be creative. And doing a little research after she passed away, because I thought, you know what, it's time to take my writing seriously. It's time to take my talents seriously. And I started to realize as I delved into the science of creativity that we all have it in us to be creative. And so that kind of fascinated me. And so I think the seeds of that book were born back then when I was reading about creativity and trying to live this legacy my mother had left behind. And it wasn't until 2017 that I picked up all those notes I'd made and started looking into doing this book on creativity, because I had been meeting women who were younger with young children who didn't think they had time to do anything creative. They put all their time and their money and their energy into their young children. And then I was meeting women at the other end of the spectrum who were older in their 70s and 80s saying, well, you know, it's too late for me, or worse, saying, I don't have any talent. And I didn't believe that for a minute, because I could see it, and I can see that in people, and we can all see it when we have children. We can see it in our children, and I think we all lose touch with that. So I was doing some public speaking and doing some classes and doing some workshops, and I just knew that I wanted to encourage and inspire people, men and women, to use what we are born with, this need to create. And when I use the word create, I don't mean just paintings or art or writing. I mean gardening and baking and whatever it is we were built to do. So that it's been an exciting and a fun book to work on and to talk to different creative around Iowa, people who were using their creativity in some way. So it's been a really fun book, and it's amazing to see it come out 10 years after my mother's death, because she's kind of the muse for it.
I love that message of inspiring the creativity that lives in all of us. That's so wonderful.
Mm.
You mentioned how that major life event of birth and death can change our relationship with creativity. How has this year, this 2020 pandemic, changed your relationship with creativity?
Well, if anything, it's made me see how important practicing creative endeavors is in our lives and in each of us. I mean, just for me to come home to work was a big change, and I had to be creative to find a way. I'm a programming director with all my programs canceled. I had to find and discover a way to pivot to online and do online programming. So that in itself was a form of creativity I had not practiced, and it was a stretch and it took a learning curve. And then I see people writing and creating and painting and from this pandemic, or they're at home with children and they're buying out all the paint and the art and craft materials at the stores that are open or online. And it's just like, this is a time, a pause in our lives when all of a sudden that being creative is not a leisure activity, but something for our mental health too. And even the baking I see people doing, look what I made, and they're putting pictures on Facebook and stuff. So if anything, the pandemic has made me realize all the more how important creativity is in our lives and how we can practice it in different ways, and that what other people might not see as creative, but it is creative. It is creative to pivot your programming to online. It is creative to spend time with your children with arts and crafts and coloring on the sidewalk when you normally, as an adult human being, would not be coloring pictures on a sidewalk, right? But you know, people are walking by your house and you want to encourage them, so you do that. So I see it all over the place. I see it in people's jobs and how they've had to change their jobs. I see it in what they're doing with their families, or what they're doing with their, if you have spare time, because not everybody during this time has had spare time. I keep waiting for this spare time to happen. But it's so important for our mental health. It's so important for our physical health to create and to do something creative in our lives and what we were built to do. The bottom line is we are built and created to create. And however that looks in our life might not look like what people think of. It's not Michelangelo or Leonardo da Vinci, but it's something in our lives that as a child we were naturally drawn to. And as a child we just were drawn to and practiced, but as an adult we lost.
That was absolutely well put, that creativity lives in all of us. And you are correct that we have all been learning to find new ways to do things and new ways to express ourselves in these challenging times. What is your next project that you're going to tackle in this world?
It's funny because usually when I have a book completed, I'm already thinking of the next one. And I think in the back of my head, I'm making some notes, and there is another book in me, or another 2 or 3 books in me. But I want to just rest with this one. I want to just spend time reaching out to people through workshops or through programs. And that's had to change with the pandemic too. I had things planned for this fall that all of a sudden either they're going to be online or I'm going to have to figure out something else. So I want to just rest in this book and start to reach out to men and women and people out there. When I do writing classes and I see somebody in their 70s who has never submitted some of their most beautiful writing because they think it's not good enough, it's just like to see them unleashed when I finally encourage them or give them the confidence to, okay, just submit one thing, and if it's rejected, okay, that's fine. It's one place, one rejection. And then I see these people getting accepted. They're writing that, which is obviously beautiful, but they don't think it is. And they blossom and they fly, and now they can't stop submitting, and it's just like amazing to me. So I want to spend some time doing that, encouraging people and being part of that, inspiring to do what you were meant to do, to practice those creative things and just to have fun with it. Because what stops adults from doing some of this stuff is fear. We fear we're going to look stupid, or fear what we make or what we create is going to not look right, as if art has to look a certain way, and it doesn't. And so that's what my plans are, is to continue to do some programming and some workshops built around this one book.
I love that. I love that you're going to take your energy and put it back out into the world and then encourage and inspire others to share their gifts with everyone. That's wonderful. So Carnegie-Stout Public Library will have your new book called To Be Creative on our shelves with most of your other books. I'm pretty sure we have them all on the shelf these days. So if people are looking to read your books, they can stop here. But where else could they find your new book if they're looking for it?
Well, I like to encourage people to support our local independent bookstore. So River Lights Bookstore will be having it on their shelves as well, and I will be doing a launch there on August 18th. My parents lived above where River Lights Bookstore is right now. It was a grocery store. It was a grocery store. So when I was born, well, not literally above River Lights, but my first year or two was there. So to me, that's a perfect place to launch. So August 18th, I will be doing a launch. I will be there. Everybody else will join me by Zoom. So that's the world we live in right now. And you can get Amazon, Books A Million should have it, Barnes and Noble, all the books.
All the usual places.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But August 18th. Excellent.
Yes.
Well, thank you again for joining us. Is there anything else you wanted to add that we maybe didn't get a chance to talk about?
No, I think we covered it. I just want to encourage everybody to use this time to be creative and create something today, even if it's an omelet, which keeps falling apart. That's what I'm trying to do right now, is make omelets. I'm trying to master an omelet during this pandemic. It's not working yet.
I believe in you. You're going to get it.
Okay.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Check It Out, Carnegie-Stout Library's Adult Services Podcast. A big thank you to Mary Potter Kenyon for her interview, and as always, thank you to Ben Eagle for recording and performing our music for our podcast. We hope you join us next time for Check It Out.